Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering. Off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler video series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat the stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't planning on reviewing this item. I actually had something else in mind, but when I found this, I knew I needed to review it now. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means I was on my way home from work. I found some shit to review for you. And that is definitely the case today. Because like I said, I actually had another item specifically in mind that I was going to review. It's literally in the car with me. But I decided, you know what, I needed to go over there and stop off, get some gas anyway. So I stopped off at a gas station. And as I've been known to do, I keep my head on a swivel. I'm always trying to find new stuff to review. And I saw this and I was like, yeah, that's got to be reviewed and it needs to be reviewed now. What is it? What am I reviewing for you, folks? It happens to be, boom, it's this. It's Chester's. It's new. These are Chester's fries, Carolina style barbecue. Ooh. And it's $2.99. Only $2.99. Which, of course, realistically, as soon as you go over there and hand it off to whatever distributor or whatever store it's going to, I mean, they're going to put whatever price tag they want on it. I mean, at this point, even the fucking Arizona's supposed to be $1. Not at a lot of places that I'm at anymore, and that's not on Arizona, that's on those places. Bullshit. We used to be a proper country. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, this has to be amazing, right? And it's got a thing that says sweet, tangy Carolina-style barbecue flavor in every delicious crunch. Come on, Carolina, kick my ass with flavor. Let's get a thing for the thing. It looks like this, and we'll just kind of go, ha, 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 sure. Now let's find out how these are. And it only says Carolina. It's not north or south. So I wonder which, is Carolina barbecue just throughout the entire thing, or is there one part of the Carolinas that kind of, maybe I'm starting a whole thing there. I don't know. It smells really good. Let's give it a go. Okay. It's not bad, but it's not as good as I want it to be. I think part of the issue is the format. I'll be honest, I've never been into like the Cheeto fries things that they do occasionally. Like they're not terrible or anything, but like typically if I see something associated with Cheetos, I just want it to be Cheetos. The fries thing, I kind of feel like these would have worked out better in a more standard Cheeto format. Because the problem that I have with these is that they're so nothing. Like there's very, very little to them, You bite into them, they're gone. They just dissipate too quickly. I feel like that's the problem I'm running into here. Because the flavor itself isn't bad. And I have had like Carolina barbecue style sauce and stuff like that. So like I'm not entirely unfamiliar. And there's a little something to it. I don't think it perfectly represents the great states of the Carolinas. But at the very least, I can see what they're going for with it. But I definitely wish that they just done this as a Cheetos flavor instead of like the fries thing. Because yeah, it's so ethereal, as you're eating it, and as a result, it dissipates way too quickly. And I don't really like that about it. I mean, because again, the flavor is decent. It's a tangy barbecue sauce. Definitely has like Carolina definitely has like very distinct kind of flavor profile to their barbecue sauce. One that they should be very proud of. I'm just saying. If I'm describing it in this context specifically, it's a little bit tangy, a little bit sweet, almost a little bit fruity. Um, and that flavor does carry, from start to finish. The problem is that the start to finish time on these is just, it's, so lacking. Like I said, yeah. The flavor is there. The format is what lets this down. Because I want that flavor to linger. I want that to hold for longer. And it's just not. It just craps out too quickly. And then all I'm kind of left with is these shitty Cheeto fries that aren't all that great in my opinion. They're not bad. But these are definitely an instance where it's like, I don't think they're a bad product. I think the idea is really good. But I'm longing for that penultimate version of this. And the thing is, I don't feel like the penultimate version of this would have been hard to make happen. Because again, I think if they just applied these to normal fucking Cheetos, it would have hit perfectly. But with the fries, and that's going to be a point of, personal contention. I'm sure there are people who like these things. I'm just not that into them personally, but yeah, they're okay. I think there's good things about them. I think the flavor profile, while again, obviously not going to be one-to-one with, the proper Carolina barbecue, it at least is somewhat evocative of it. I like that. And the flavor you do get is nice. Again, the format bothers me. But 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get them again? Would I recommend them? No, and kind of. For me, I've already expressed my greatest fault with it. I don't really like the Chester Cheeto fries or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I don't like that as a format. Like, especially when I'm thinking about, proper Cheetos, right? Because you think of the main 2 forms of Cheetos. You have like crunchy Cheetos and you have the puffs. Both of those have their merits. And I think both of those are distinct and are really good in their own way. These are like somewhere in between those, right? Like they're a little crunchy, but not that crunchy. But at the same time, they're not as, like poofy and, and I think that's where I run into the issue with them as a flavor format is like, I don't think they really do either of those things that well. And as a result, they're just kind of eh. So for me, even though I like the flavor, I can't quite get past that format issue. It's like all it's making me want is just a Cheetos version of this. Or to just go get Cheetos. I don't hate them, but they're nowhere near as good as what I was hoping. Now that said, if I am recommending them, kind of. Because although they don't impress me very much, at the end of the day, like, I don't think they're bad. And I kind of like the flavoring on them. I think that works out pretty well. The format might not bother other people as much as it does me. Maybe it'll work for you. And if they do seem interesting, they're $3, in theory, again, depending on where you are. They're not a bad thing. If you want to give them a go, give them a go. I would just say go in with, let's call it reasonable expectations, because I do personally think these could have been a lot better than they've ended up being. Like, these kind of feel like, hey, we've got these shitty fry things that, nobody fucking likes that much. I'm sure some people do, to be fair. Maybe they're not selling that well. Let's toss a really cool flavor at it to try to, save them. That's kind of where my head goes. I'm not saying that's it, but anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your life, folks. Go over there, have yourselves a truly Carolina barbecue-tastic rest of your life. Because again, it's fantastic barbecue. You got Carolina, Texas. Nashville, southern states, man, I don't always agree with everything they do, but then I don't always agree with everything that my state does either, so there you go. But I think the food is delicious. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, if you happen to be from one or both of the Carolinas, maybe you moved or some shit, let me know. Inform me of the barbecue situation there. Like I said, is that a shared thing in the Carolinas, or is it a thing where one or the other, sort of stakes a certain amount of claim? I get the feeling like one or the other, but both probably. But anyway,